now fans, please welcome to the field your Milford High School Scarlet Hawks. Leading them onto the field is Milford Youth Football and Milford Youth Cheer.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the turf field here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call, starting week 6 of this high school football season. Your Scarlet Hawks finally back at home for just the second time during this regular season. And your undefeated 5-0 Scarlet Hawks welcome in a non-conference opponent tonight in the Lowell High School Red Raiders. Lowell comes into this matchup with an overall record of 1-4 as they operate out of the small division of the Merrimack Valley League. The Scarlet Hawks coming into play today after a great start to their league portion of their schedule. League opponents for the last 2 weeks, both resulting in pretty decisive victories for the Scarlet Hawks. A 48-14 victory down in Attleboro 2 weeks ago, and then last week a 33-13 victory, that against North Attleboro on the road. So picking up a couple of league wins before coming back home here to take on a non-conference foe. Right now the captains already making their way out onto the field as we are getting very close to the start of this contest. So we'll take a peek down at field level as we get the coin toss coming up here. Work continues to be done on this turf field here in Milford. We had the new field surface put in just before the start of this fall sports season, and it's been a continued work in progress here over the last few weeks during the installation of a brand new track surface around the exterior of this turf field. And you can see the new black surface. Not 100% done, but happy to have home games returning here to Milford as the coin toss is now complete. Milford winning the toss. They have elected to receive, so we will see this high-flying Scarlet Hawks offense again putting up upwards of 70 points over the last 2 weeks, looking to stay at that high level as they play in front of the home fans here on this Thursday night edition of Scarlet Hawks football. It is also senior night here. We had a nice ceremony prior to the start of this game honoring the seniors for the football team as well as the cheerleading squad. And so a very festive atmosphere under beautiful weather conditions as we get this game started for you tonight. We want to officially welcome in all of our viewers who are tuned into the live coverage here tonight, whether you're tuning into us via our live stream over on YouTube, or you're tuned into us locally on our Milford TV educational channel or Verizon HD 2140. Happy to have you with us. We'll get the national anthem here, and then we'll get this game started next here on Milford TV. Back here at field level, just moments away from getting this Week 6 matchup started. The Scarlet Hawks taking on the Lowell Red Raiders. Milford looking to stay unbeaten on the season. 5-0 starts have become a pattern for this program over the last couple of seasons. They have started off each of the last 2 seasons at 5-0. Previous couple of seasons, Week 6 has featured the team's regular season meeting with the King Philip Warriors. That will take place next week on the road in Wrentham. But for tonight, it is a non-conference matchup, and it's time to get this game started. Cameron Durkin, a senior, lined up to kick the ball away to the Scarlet Hawks. "Let's go Milford" chant in the air as this low kick will take a bounce right around the 15-yard line. It's picked up there by Jason Stokes, trying to find some room on the near side. He goes spilling forward to be just shy of the 35-yard line, so it's a decent starting field position for the Scarlet Hawks. Led out onto the field by Jack Buckley, their junior quarterback, who has really popped in the last 2 weeks. Recorded 3 touchdown passes last week in the win against North Attleboro. Tacked on a rushing touchdown as well. And he is out there in the shotgun. First down from the 34-yard line, and it's a backwards pass. Looks to be a double pass set up here for Milford, and it's complete inside Lowell territory. Some trickery right out of the gate, says the pass was ultimately completed downfield to Daniel Carvalho for a big gain to get this offense jump-started. It was ultimately Andrew Rivera who made the toss downfield.
First and 10, Milford on the Lowell 38.
So immediately now, the new line of scrimmage is the Lowell 38-yard line. Stokes in motion from left to right as Buckley drops back, has good time in the pocket, now rolls out to his right in trouble and has to get rid of it. He had good protection there, but good defense in the secondary for the Red Raiders, and eventually Buckley ran out of time. Had to rush that throw with a defender coming into his face. Second down and 10 now for the Hawks. Buckley continuing to gain confidence as the season goes along as a first-year starter at the QB position. Again in the shotgun, fakes the handoff, completes it to Stokes on the near side, tries to plow over a defender, and ends up getting dropped at the Lowell 34.
4-yard gain on the play. Third down and 6.
Just a short gain there for Stokes, setting up third down and 6. Still in the early stages of this first quarter action. Lowell bringing pressure as Milford hands it off. And Nick Arujo able to burst forward. And it looks like he is going to be shy of the first. Looks like about a yard shy. And so, how aggressive will Coach Olson be here on the first drive of the game? 4th and 1. Just inside the Red Raider 30, and right now the offense staying put on the field. And back in the hands of Arujo, and he has plenty of space to get the first down.
And that play is good for Scarlet Hawks.
The Hawks rushing leader with no problem gathering the yardage needed there, and then some, bringing Milford down to the Lowell 25-yard line, where it is now first down and 10 with the clock now under 10 minutes in the first quarter.
First and 10, Milford on the Lowell 25.
Step down and took some hard contact there as It looks like they'll mark him about a half a yard behind the line of scrimmage. You can make it a full yard, so that will go in the books as a sack for the Raiders. 2nd down and 11 coming up here. We did not see an offensive touchdown in Milford's first home game of the season several weeks ago against Natick. Only an interception returned for a touchdown by Andrew Rivera for the one and only score of the game. And meanwhile, Buckley in some trouble there, had to quickly release that ball right over the middle of the field. A dangerous throw that ends up landing incomplete. Lucky for Buckley that he had a receiver in the general vicinity. Getting a quick look at it again on the live stream. We have the benefit of a bit of a delay here at field level. No red jerseys home there on that throw, so perhaps fortunate to not have a intentional grounding call on that play. But regardless, it's 3rd down and 11 for Milford, and an early timeout taken here by Coach Olson. First timeout of the game taken with 9 minutes and 1 second to go here in the first quarter. So with a brief break in the action, again, we've had a bit of a hiatus here on our Milford TV coverage due to the work happening here on the track. This is the first home game that has been played here on Milford's home turf since the end of September, with the work ongoing to complete the track project. We have it from some inside sources here that there's more work that needs to be done. That goes without saying. There's no numbers, no lanes painted on the track yet, so there are more layers that need to be completed. So we'll see a home game here tonight. We'll have the girls soccer team at home tomorrow, and then over the weekend work will continue, and then we'll see how things go from there in terms of the home schedule. All of that is still to be decided, but football here tonight. And back out of the timeout, Buckley looking to throw again. Good protection, and that pass nearly intercepted.
Pass by Jack Buckley falls incomplete.
Seth
Carvalho.
And so now 4th down and 11.
Seth Lyon on coverage for Lowell.
And so out comes Nick Arujo
on Lowell 26.
To attempt the field goal.
To attempt a 43-yard field goal.
It'll be a 43-yard field goal from this distance. 3 field goals made on the season for Arujo. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up. Plenty of room, but no good.
This kick is no good.
That looked to be on target, but perhaps a little bit wide to the right. And so Arujo misses the kick. So that will bring the Red Raiders offense out onto the field. It's been a bit of a strange season for Arujo in the kicking game. He made 3 field goals early, I believe all of them in the first 2 weeks of the season. But he's had several misses since then. Again, in that game that we covered against Natick a couple of weeks ago, a series of missed field goals on both sides in that game kept that score as low as it ended up being. So more kicking troubles here for Arujo to start the night here tonight. A promising drive for Milford ends with no points on the board. And so now we'll get our first look at the Red Raiders offense with 8:55 to go in the first. Ball spotted on the Lowell 26. Make that the 25-yard line as the ball comes out towards the far sideline. And a good effort there by the Red Raiders to get the first down yardage. Kelvin Amankwa getting that first down yardage.
First and 10, Red Raiders on their own 39.
Now the handoff to Anthony Perez Jr., and Milford was there waiting in the backfield, dropping the Raiders for a loss. It is Jack Casey, the junior, serving as the starting QB for the Red Raiders.
So they're on 38.
Second down and 11 now as the clock continues to roll. Still a bit of daylight here with the earlier start time. The lights on here at the Milford turf. And a lot of pressure coming as Casey rushed the throw, had a receiver open. Ryan Conley could not haul that ball in, looking around to the officials after the play, hoping for a pass interference call, but none came, and it is now third down and 11. As we mentioned, Milford will be right back on the road next week in a matchup against the King Philip Warriors, a much anticipated meeting between those two schools. Milford hoping to break through. And then they'll be back home against Franklin 2 weeks from now. Airing it out again, this time on third down is Lowell, but that ball overthrown and lands incomplete. You obviously think about that matchup looming on the horizon against KP. This game could easily be one of those trap games where he may be overlooking this opponent just a bit with that highly anticipated matchup a week from now. But we know that this coaching staff in Milford has incredible attention to detail, so no doubt keeping these players focused in on the job at hand. This ball takes a very generous Lowell bounce. It's going to come to a stop to be around the 17-yard line.
Punt is down on the 17-yard line.
So a longer field here for the Hawks on their second possession of the night. Milford starting off their first possession with that double pass play, which is something we've seen them do before on the first play of the game to try to catch the opposing defense off guard. Seen them score an opening drive touchdown that way in recent seasons. On this drive, we start off with the ball in the hands of Nick Arujo, who's able to make his way as far as the 20. Looks like they'll give him the just shy of the 21.
2nd and 7, from their own 20.
A 3-yard gain for Arujo. Taking down to 7 minutes to play now in the first. Buckley fakes the handoff. A lot of moving parts on that play, and the ball is going to clank off the hands of Aiden Watson, incomplete. Watson got in on the scoring for the Scarlet Hawks last week against North Attleboro, collecting a 45-yard touchdown pass. Third down and 7 now for the Hawks as Buckley drops back. Guns it over the middle, has a man open, and it's complete. Hitting Watson in stride. He's ahead of the defense, and he is going to take this ball to the house. Touchdown, Scarlet Hawks.
Touchdown, Milford. Jack Buckley completes Aiden Watson from 80 yards out for the score.
An 80-yard touchdown completion from Buckley to Aiden Watson. The two hook up for a TD for the second week in a row. Milford with a huge play here to get on the scoreboard, 6-0 with the point after coming up.
His kick is good. Try successful.
And the PAT is good. So with 6 minutes and 38 seconds to go in this first quarter, Milford is able to get themselves on the scoreboard on their second drive of the night. On top now, 7-0 on Lowell. We'll take a quick pause here in the broadcast. Be back with you in just a moment here on Milford TV.
Nick Arujo set the kickoff.
A Hockomock League leading 12th touchdown pass on the season for Jack Buckley as the Scarlet Hawks strike first, but Lowell with a nice answer on the kickoff return as they're going to take this all the way out to the 40. Anthony Perez Jr.
Number 26, Romeo Ross, in on the stop for the Scarlet Hawks.
With an excellent return, about 30 yards on that kickoff return for Perez Jr. Slipped through a lot of Milford tackles to present good field position here for the second Lowell possession of the game. Six minutes in quarter number one. And they hand it off on first down. It looks to be Perez Jr. again. This time on the ground game. Gain of about,
Perez Jr. on the carry.
looks like they'll give him the 34-yard, I beg your pardon, the 44-yard line.
Red Raiders, and they're on 44.
For a gain of 4. Perez Jr. stays out there just off the right hip of Jack Casey. And a flag comes in as Perez takes this ball up the middle and then immediately gets driven back.
Jr. on the carry. There's a flag on the play.
Good coverage up the middle for Milford. So the penalty against Lowell.
Illegal shift on Lowell is the call.
The call is an illegal shift
5-yard penalty, replay, second down.
to set up second down and 11 now for the Red Raiders. Lowell right now with just one win on the season, on the outside looking in of the playoff hunt. Lowell operating out of Division I. And one thing that we failed to mention in our last broadcast is Milford's shift in division alignment for this season. We'll delve into that a little bit more as the broadcast goes on. In the meantime, Casey will sling this ball downfield on second down and out of the reach of Ryan Conley.
Pass was intended for number 18, Ryan Conley.
Casey's taken a couple of deep shots in this first quarter. We've seen him overthrow his receivers now on 2 different occasions. Third down and 11 now for Lowell. Milford bringing the pressure, the throw over the middle, a little bit off target, and it's incomplete. Colin Christensen was there for Lowell, tried to twist his body around to pull that catch in, almost made a nice grab, but that ball drops incomplete, and it's fourth down now for Lowell.
From there on 39. Number 4, Cameron Durkin is in punt formation. Jason Stoss and Aiden Watson are deep to receive.
Milford screaming into the backfield there to try to block that kick, but Lowell gets Scarlet.
Down at the 24-yard line. First and 10.
So the defense forces another Lowell punt. So back out comes the Scarlet Hawks offense. The receiving core for Milford operating a man down when we were here a couple of weeks ago for that matchup against Natick. C.J. Farrell suffering an injury to the right lower leg, and it appears that that will end his football season. As Arujo is bottled up on the first play of the drive. So certainly a loss for the Scarlet Hawks, such an electric player in C.J. Farrell. The hope is that C.J. will be good to go for the winter sports season, as of course he is also counted on heavily in that Scarlet Hawks basketball team. So far, the coaching staff, the players have been able to weather Farrell's absence. Other players stepping up in this receiving game as this ball is caught by Owen Callahan over on the near sideline.
Caught by number 2, Owen Callahan. And that play is good for Scarlet Hawks.
Callahan, who
11-yard gain on the
also
play.
serves as one of the quarterbacks on this roster out in the receiving game, hauling in a first down catch and setting Milford up at their own 35-yard line.
Jack Buckley on the keeper. Number 8, Samuel Ansah in on the stop.
Buckley keeping it himself on that play. A nice gain.
8-yard gain on the play.
They'll give him
Second
8
and 2, Milford.
to set up second down and 2 with just over 4 minutes to go. Still in the first quarter here in Milford. The last bits of daylight fading in the distance. Second down and 2. As Buckley fakes the handoff to Arujo, had a couple of receivers there on the far side, was able to thread that ball in for Callahan. But shy of the first down, so it'll be third down and a yard.
And 1, Milford, on their own 44.
Buckley staring back to the sideline to get the play. Rivera in motion as the handoff goes up the middle. Milford gets the first down, and good ball control as eventually Arujo is able to get down to the ground. Lowell keeping him up there to try to strip that ball loose.
5-yard gain on the play. First and 10, Milford on their own 49-yard line.
Far through this first quarter, Milford with a 7-0 lead off of the 80-yard touchdown hauled in by Aiden Watson. Meanwhile, Buckley's still on his feet for a big gain up the far sideline.
And that play is good for the Scarlet Hawks.
So that will give Milford a first down, now well inside Red Raider territory.
22-yard gain on the play. First and 10, Milford on the Lowell
22 yards on that carry. And it's now first and 10 from the Lowell 29, so Milford now threatening again. Buckley with time, throws to the near sideline. It's off target.
Pass by Jack Buckley falls incomplete.
Looking for Andrew Rivera by the first down marker.
Number 34, Andrew Rivera. Second and 10, Milford on the Red Raider 29.
Watson and Stokes lined up to the near side. Rivera out deep on the far side. Watson now in motion And the pass is completed to Stokes, crossing back towards the middle of the field, has the first down, has room in front to the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown, Scarlet Hawks. 29-yard touchdown. Excellent work on the yards after the catch by Jason Stokes to put Milford up 13-0 with the point after coming up. The ball is up and the kick is good. 2 touchdowns now in this first quarter for the Scarlet Hawks as they now double their lead, up 14-0 on top of Lowell. It's the second touchdown reception of the season for Jason Stokes. And same can be said for Aiden Watson as well, hauling in his second touchdown of the season earlier in this quarter, as meanwhile the two teams head off to their respective sidelines as we have a Lowell player down on the field right now being attended to by the training staff. So that will pause things here on the field with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this first quarter. A 14-0 lead for Milford. We'll take the injury timeout. And I beg your pardon, we'll keep it right here as it was Randy Valdez for Lowell who was shaken up on the field, but able to spring to his feet and sprint to the sideline under his own power. So fortunate that that was not a serious injury.
Number 18,
So Ruggio ready to kick the ball back to the Red Raiders. A low line drive kick here, and it goes through the wickets of Valdez Jr. He's going to go back to the goal line to pick it up, and now will be dropped down right around the 10-yard line. Looks like they'll give him the 11. And so Lowell able to avoid a disaster there.
First and 10, Lowell on their own 11-yard line.
Valdez has shown good speed in this Lowell offense so far in this first quarter. Was able to go back to pick up that loose ball and at least give his offense a little bit of space. First and 10 from the Lowell 11. Just over 2 minutes to go, and not much running room on the first play of the drive for the Red Raiders.
Perez Jr. on the carry.
A gain of 2 on that rushing play. Casey from the shotgun. He will hand off once again to Perez Jr. I believe I said Valdez Jr. on that kick return. My apologies. Anthony Perez Jr.
No gain of play. Third down and 8 Lowell on their own 13-yard line.
So very quickly, third down and 8 here. Lowell playing it very conservative, backed up deep in their own territory. And this time, Casey will air it out, and the pass is incomplete. Looking for Cameron Durkin on the near sideline.
Pass was intended for number 4, Cameron Durkin.
So fourth down and 8, and a very quick 3 and out here.
From their own 13-yard line. Number 4, Cameron Durkin.
Less than 90 seconds on that possession.
Jason Stokes and Aiden Watson are deep to receive. Flag is for a personal foul hit on a defenseless player on Milford. 15-yard penalty.
So Milford getting whistled
First and 10 from their own 38.
for the personal foul, a hit against a defenseless receiver. The explanation we get up top here. So instead of being on the Lowell side of the field, Milford backed up onto their own 38 as Buckley pitches it back on first down.
Nate Scudo on the carry.
Already Milford's 4th possession in this first quarter, which is about to come to an end. They will let these final seconds tick down, and a productive start to the night for the Scarlet Hawks as Watson and Stokes each collect a touchdown pass from Jack Buckley, and Milford starts off this game on top of Lowell by a score of 14-0. We'll start the second quarter in just a moment as you enjoy coverage of Milford High School football here on Milford TV.
Second and 6, Milford. And they're on 42-yard line to begin the second quarter of play.
Welcome back in as we get set to begin the second quarter. Milford with a 14-0 lead on the Lowell Red Raiders as the first pass of this second quarter is complete to Andrew Rivera, who walks the tightrope down the near sideline all the way down to the Red Raider 39. This passing game has looked solid for Milford so far in this half. And if you're Lowell, you can't really afford to fall much further behind. This is an offense that's averaged only 14 points a game so far this season, as right now Buckley has a ton of space out in front, gets a good block from Nate Scudo, and eventually is out of bounds. But not before the offense collects another first down. And a nice job by our Milford TV intern, Kyle Barlow, who got right up in the middle of that action. Kyle has been serving as our sideline camera operator for both of our football games we've covered this season, doing a great job. On first down, this pass over the middle is incomplete.
Pass by Jack Buckley falls incomplete. Pass is intended for number 3, Jason Stokes.
Another throw over the middle to Stokes, who's done a good job so far in this game, pulling in those catches through traffic. That time, the ball lands incomplete. Second down and 10 as this offense is operating with purpose here to start the second quarter. Rougeau in the backfield on second and 10. He takes the handoff. Continues to force his way up the middle across the 20-yard line down to about the 18. Couple of yards shy of the first down.
7-yard gain on the play.
Clock still winding down, close to 11 minutes to play in the first half.
Timeout Milford, their second of the first half.
And Coach Olson's going to use his second timeout here, stopping the clock at 11 minutes and 7 seconds to go. So we mentioned it back in the first quarter, a change for Milford this season after being part of Division II for the last several years. Milford realigned to Division III for this season. And so obviously a big change for the Scarlet Hawks, who have been battling the likes of Catholic Memorial and King Philip to try to advance to a Super Bowl these last few years. That will not be the case for Milford this season, as they are now in Division III and right now hold the number 2 ranking in Division III, trailing only Milton. Both teams come into Week 6 with 5-0 records. A power rating for Milton of 26.45, Milford at 21.71. So Milford right now in position for one of those top 2 seeds with still several big weeks to go before the playoffs are decided. Here goes Aiden Watson around towards the far side of the field, and he makes his way in for another Scarlet Hawks touchdown, this time from 18 yards out. Weaved his way up that far sideline, went in almost untouched in the end. This game quickly getting out of hand. Meanwhile, some conversation. It looks like a personal foul after the play. Now Milford out for the point after. And drilled through by Arujo. So a 21-0 lead now for the Scarlet Hawks. They came into this week's action having scored a total of 152 points through their first 5 weeks. That is second best in the Hockomock League, second only, of course, to the King Philip Warriors, who come into Week 6 having scored 173 points. That KP defense allowing just 13 points through their first 5 victories of the season. Milford so far on the year has allowed 34 points. So again, just more intrigue leading into that road matchup for Milford against the Warriors.
Number 18, Nick Arujo set the kickoff.
Meanwhile, this ball, a squib kick off the foot of Arujo and downed. Hauling that one in with the knee down that time was Perez Jr. And so that'll result in starting field position just outside the Lowell 10. Ten minutes and 54 seconds remain in the first half.
First and 10, Lowell from their own 13.
This offense has not been able to get much traction. 3 drives, 3 punts. Last time out, it was a quick 3 and out. And the play whistled to a stop.
False start on Lowell is the call.
As Lowell is called for the false start.
First down. First and 15, Lowell from their own 8.
Clock paused at 10:52. as it is now 1st and 15 for the Red Raiders. Line of scrimmage is the Lowell 8. Arujo showing pressure as he comes in from the edge. A quick release and a completion over on the far side of the field in to Cameron Durkin. And so that gives Lowell a bit of breathing room as the ball comes out now
7-yard gain on the play.
To the 20.
2nd and 3, Red Raiders on their own 20.
2nd down and 3. As they hand off to Perez Jr., who is immediately stopped.
Number 1, Anthony Perez Jr.
And a celebration afterwards for Silas Kennedy.
Loss of 1 on the play. 3rd down and 4, Lowell on their own 19.
So they push the Red Raiders back a yard. It's 3rd down and 4. Jack Casey, quick dump off, complete to Perez Jr. Close to that 1st down yardage. It looks like they'll give it to him.
Pass by Jack Casey is complete to Anthony Perez Jr.
A little bit of a hesitation there, but now they move the chains. 1st and 10 as Perez Jr. gets just enough.
5-yard gain on the play. Good enough for a Lowell 1st down. 1st and 10 Red Raiders on their own 23.
9.5 minutes to go now in quarter number 2. They fake it this time to Perez Jr. and the ball thrown into heavy traffic. It ends up landing incomplete.
The pass was intended for number 15, Colin Christensen.
Anthony Mayetta was there in the area for Milford.
Second and 10, Red Raiders on their own 23-yard line.
Second down and 10, Milford with pressure coming in, but the ball is released and completed on the near sideline to number 18, Ryan Conley.
Caught by number 18, Ryan Conley. Forced out by number 3, Jason Stokes. Play good for a Lowell 1st down. Yard gain on the play.
Another good shot there on the sidelines for
34.
our cameraman, Kyle Barlow. 1st and 10 now for the Red Raiders. Perez Jr. with some open space and a good tackle made in the end by Mayetta.
Number 4, Anthony Mayetta, in on the stop.
Would think that Lowell would try to get Anthony Perez Jr.
1st and 10, Lowell on their own 45.
activated even more in this game. He has been able to generate their best offensive plays of the night with his speed. In the backfield once again to Casey's right. As the QB drops back to throw, runs out of time, and again, a ball that could have been caught that is dropped by Colin Christensen.
There's a 2nd and 10 roll from their own 45.
Definitely a catchable ball there for Christensen, but instead it is 2nd down and 10. Clock right now frozen at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Deep drop back this time as that ball is caught.
Pass by Jack Casey, falls incomplete.
I beg your pardon, incomplete. Ended up in the hands of Conley, but incomplete. It's right back around the line of scrimmage.
10 for Lowell from their own 45-yard line.
So 3rd down and 10 from the Lowell 45. And Milford again brings the pressure, and there is the sack.
Jack Casey is sacked on the play.
Daniel Carvalho screaming up the middle and drives Casey to the ground for the sack.
Loss of 6 on the play. 4th down. And
drops Lowell for a loss of 6.
39-yard line.
Brings Durkin back out onto the field for another Lowell punt.
Number 4, Cameron Durkin is in punt formation. Jason Stokes and Aiden Watson are deep to receive.
Fair catch called for by Jason Stokes.
Fair caught by number 3, Jason Stokes.
Hauled in right around the 38-yard line. Second straight drive that Milford will start from their own 38.
37.
Buckley sending this ball
Pass by Jack Buckley, falls
into the
incomplete.
flat, incomplete,
The pass was intended for number
looking
81,
for
Daniel
Carvalho right after making the big defensive play. Second down and 10 for Milford with a little more than 7.5 minutes until we reach halftime.
37.
Believe it'll be a bit of an extended halftime tonight with some more senior night festivities along with the marching band halftime show. On 2nd and 10, Buckley trying to get out from the pressure, but eventually he is taken down. One of the Lowell captains, Dylan Manny.
Brought down by number 59, Dylan Manning. Timeout Milford, their 3rd and final.
So Milford
of the
will
first
take their last time out of the half after the second sack of the night of Jack Buckley. Looked for a moment like he might elude that rush, but Manny was able to take him down. And so it'll be 3rd and very long out of the timeout for the Scarlet Hawks with the ball spotted all the way back on the 30-yard line. 3rd down and 18 coming up for Milford.
Fans make sure to check out our concession
We'll be
stand
right back
located
here
near
at the
main
turf
gate.
field tomorrow afternoon
While we're down there, we also be sure to check
for
out
coverage
Milford
of the
Ground
girls
Club
soccer
fans.
team as they host their Attleboro counterparts. The start time for that game has shifted around quite a bit as the year has gone on. But right now, scheduled for a 4:15 start for girls soccer tomorrow here on the turf field against Attleboro. We will have the coverage live. It'll be streaming live on YouTube, live on our educational channel and our HD channel as well. 3rd down and 18 out of the timeout. Buckley with a couple of pump fakes and eventually completes the pass, finding Alex Guerra, who is brought down shy of the first down.
Jack Buckley is complete. Caught by number 11, Alex Guerra.
Ends up only a yard shy, so it'll be a 4th down and 1 here. I beg your pardon, 4th down and 11 as I
4th down and 11, Milford, from their own 37.
find myself looking at the wrong marker on the sideline. So much more realistic punt situation here as Arujo sends it sky high, takes a bit of a Milford bounce at the 40, and is eventually downed by Anthony Maeda right around the Lowell 37. So the first punt of the night for the Scarlet Hawks. Certainly the sack for Lowell took the wind out of Milford's sails on that drive. Scarlet Hawks leading Lowell in this game by a score of 21-0. Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet here with you on the call, along with an outstanding Milford TV crew. Patrick Garapi directing the game this evening. Scott Crisafulli on our camera up on top of the press box, and the aforementioned Kyle Barlow down on the sideline. Perez Jr. getting the call here on first down from the Lowell 37.
Number 57, Dylan Burns in on the stop.
Burns on the tackle there for the Scarlet Hawks.
On their own 40.
Gain of 3. Casey stepping up through pressure and now slides to try to avoid the big hit as he had Andrew Rivera bearing down.
Nick Arujo and Andrew Rivera in on the stop. No gain on the play. Third down and 7. Red Raiders.
Arujo also there on the coverage for the Scarlet Hawks to set up a quick third down and 7. Milford in search of their 6th straight win on the season. Looking to stay undefeated. Casey drops back on third down, has a receiver open over the middle. It is completed for the first down. Colin Christensen this time able to haul it in after a couple of drops here in this half.
Play good for a Lowell first down. Gain of 10 on the play. First and 10.
10-yard gain, and Lowell trying to hustle back to the line. Back in the hands of Perez Jr. on first down, and he is stopped for no gain. Looks like they'll give him about a half a yard.
No gain on the play. Second and 10, Lowell on the 50.
Getting late in this first half, just over 4 minutes to go. Casey able to hang in there, gets the pass away, but it is picked off by Aiden Watson. Stays on his feet and is finally dragged out of bounds at the Lowell 31-yard line.
Number 7, Aiden Watson.
And so Watson with the pick. And the offense comes right back out onto the field.
24-yard return following the interception.
24 yards on the run back for Watson. Impacting all phases of the game, Watson with 2 touchdowns and now an interception. Milford first and 10 from the Lowell 31.
Number 28, Nate Scudo on the carry.
Nate Scudo with nowhere to run on the first play of the drive.
One-yard gain on the play. Second and 9, Milford. The ball is on the Lowell 30.
Watson in motion here as Buckley dumps the pass off complete to Andrew Rivera, able to do a stutter step around one defender, gets down inside the 15.
And that play is good for
Eventually forced out of bounds. But a first down for Rivera.
A 16-yard gain on the play. First and 10, Milford on the Lowell 14-yard line.
So the new line of scrimmage for Milford is the Lowell 14. Scugo in the backfield. He gets the handoff. Is met immediately. Tackled by Ebenezer Anand II, a senior on the line for Lowell.
One-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 9, Milford. On the Red Raider 13.
A little over 2 minutes to go until we reach halftime. Buckley to throw here on 2nd down. Instead, steps ahead. Tries to spin off a tackle and is brought down inside the 10, down to about the 6 or 7 yard line, where it will be 3rd down for Milford. Looks like they mark him down at the 7.
3rd down and 3, Milford.
And the quick toss complete to Watson. Headed towards the goal line. He's going to be about a yard shy, as Watson had eyes on his 3rd touchdown of the half. But regardless, able to give Milford the 1st down. It is 1st and goal now.
Side-yard gain on the play. 1st and goal, Milford on the Lowell 2-yard line.
1st and goal from the 2. Arujo back out on the field. He gets the handoff, lowers the head to the goal line. And he will be short. Less than a minute to go in the half, as the Hawks look to punctuate the first half of this game with one more score. Second and goal now from the 1. Back in the hands of Arujo. And this time he is in. A 1-yard touchdown plunge for Nick Arujo.
And that's not a touchdown sponsored by Contiguous Construction. Number 18, Nick Arujo, into the point after attempt.
So after rushing for the score, Arujo now lined up for the point after.
His kick is good.
And the kick is good. The 4th rushing touchdown of the season for Nick Arujo has Milford on top now 28-0 with 33 seconds left in this half.
Please report to the gate nearest the scoreboard. Thank you.
Watson for 2. Stokes and Arujo 1 apiece to build a 4-touchdown lead. So a much different looking game here tonight from what we saw back in late September against Natick, where both offenses looked really out of sorts. The defenses grabbed all the headlines
Number 18,
in that Week 3 matchup, but a different story here tonight. Milford's offense stays red hot. And Arujo, again, keeping this kick low to the ground. It's hauled in by number 11, Seth Lai, who was down right at the Lowell 40.
11, Seth Lai on the return.
Where it'll be 1st and 10
Joey McGee and Owen Callahan
for the Red Raiders with just 26 seconds to go. And so how aggressive will this Lowell team be?
First and 10, Lowell from their own 40.
Jack Casey back out there. Shotgun. Guns it towards the far sideline, completed there. A couple of missed tackles for Milford, but eventually they're able to bring Ryan Conley down.
Number 18, Ryan Conley. Number 44, Owen Matthews in on the stop.
Gain of 6 on the reception.
Second and 4, Lowell.
And just 6 seconds to go. Lowell will get one more playoff as they send this ball towards the far sideline. It is dropped with 1 second on the clock. So we'll get one more play after all.
The pass by Jack Casey falls incomplete. Pass was intended for number 18, Ryan Conley.
So one last play here.
For their own 46-yard line.
They put it in the hands of Perez Jr., who's able to find some space towards the near side and is eventually wrestled down at around the 33-yard line, and that'll be the final play of the half. And so Milford dominating the first 2 quarters here tonight. 4 touchdowns, including an 80-yard touchdown reception by Aiden Watson. And it all totals up to a 28-0 lead for the Scarlet Hawks here at halftime. So again, we expect some more senior night festivities here during this half, and then a performance from the Scarlet Hawks marching band. So we'll pull our camera out wide so you can enjoy the visuals from this halftime. And we'll be back with you for the start of the third quarter in just a few minutes from now. Stay tuned to the coverage here of Scarlet.
Nick Arujo is set to kick off.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of this varsity football contest between your Milford Scarlet Hawks and the visiting Lowell Red Raiders. Milford putting up 28 points in the first half to take solid control of this non-conference matchup. Milford of the Hockomock League. Lowell operating out of the Merrimack Valley League.
Lowell's return goes out to the 26-yard line. First and 10, Red Raiders on their own 26.
Milford had the football to start the first half, so kicking away here in quarter number 3. And this Lowell offense hoping they can make some adjustments here in the second half, as they were able to gain very little traction against this Milford defense.
Number 1, Anthony Perez Jr. on the carry. Loss of 1 on the play. Second and 11.
Starting this drive from their own 26-yard line and losing a yard on that first play. Casey now with an empty backfield. Will toss towards the near sideline. Curling back to haul in that catch is Cameron Durkin.
Pass by Jack Casey is complete.
And he is immediately dropped to the turf.
5-yard gain in the play. Third down and 6, Lowell from their own 30.
Milford's defense this season has not allowed more than 14 points in a game. That came against Attleboro back in week 4. As this catch is made by Anthony Perez Jr., and he is brought down hard. Milford only allowed 7 points on the season through the first 3 weeks. That included 2 shutouts against Wellesley and Natick.
From their own 31-yard line.
Meanwhile, a quick punt here from Lowell, so their offense not able to take advantage of the opening possession here in the third quarter, and so Milford right back out onto the field. Apologies for any of our viewers tuned in on our educational and HD channels, as our feed cut out there briefly towards the end of the first half. Happy to have that back up and running. Feed up and running on YouTube as well. 10 minutes and 2 seconds still to go in this third quarter. As Milford possesses the football for the first time in the second half, starting field position at their own 45. And Nate Scudo with a rushing play to start this possession.
A 3-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 7, Milford on their own 48.
2nd down and 7 coming up. Buckley looking to throw. And instead will run with it himself, able to get across the 50-yard line, shy of the first down.
Five-yard gain on the play. 3rd down and
gain of 5 for Buckley with his legs to set up 3rd down and 2. Scudo back out there in the backfield on this 3rd down play, as Buckley will run for the first down. Gets it across the 40-yard line, down to the 39 for a Milford first down.
Eight-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10, Milford on the Lowell 39-yard line.
Quickly ticking down to 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Right now, this game, all Milford. Scudo getting the handoff.
Scudo on the carry.
He is stopped at the Lowell 36.
On the stop for the Red Raiders. 3-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 7, Milford on the Red Raider 36.
Milford honoring their seniors tonight on this football team, on the cheerleading squad, and on the marching band as well. Happy to be back on their home field. As this pass is incomplete. Again, the newly minted field turf here for the Scarlet Hawks, completed right at the end of the summer. Seen a handful of soccer games played out here so far this season, and just the second time the football team's been able to be out here. And the first game in general that's been played here on the home field since the final days of September. As work continues to get completed on the track. Buckley looking to throw, and that ball out of the reach of Owen Callahan. Incomplete, bringing up 4th down.
Number 2, Owen Callahan. That brings up 4th down and 7, Milford from the Red Raider 36.
And it looks like we'll get a punt here for the Scarlet Hawks, just their 2nd punt of the game. Milford missed a field goal on their first drive in the first quarter. Since then have scored 4 touchdowns on their 6 possessions since. As this will take a bounce, Milford trying to save it, but that will go into the end zone for a touchback. A lot of Milford bodies colliding there as they tried to save that ball from crossing the goal line.
First and 10, Lowell from their own 20.
So yesterday we released a schedule for the final weeks of this fall sports season for our Milford TV coverage. However, it does appear as if some of those home games might once again get displaced as the final round of maintenance on the track begins after the girls' soccer game tomorrow, so we will certainly keep everyone updated if we have to shift our coverage plans. Meanwhile, Casey here has to run it. As the pocket collapses, he's able to slide up ahead towards
Jack Casey on
the 25-yard line.
Nick Arujo and number 4, Anthony Mayetta, in on the stop.
That slide started at the 23-yard line, so just a gain of 3 there for Jack Casey, who now looks to throw. Guns it over the middle. It's complete to Anthony Perez Jr.
Pass by Casey is complete.
Right at the 35-yard line. Plenty of space for a first down there. And so again, Perez Jr. continues to be
12-yard gain on the play.
the most reliable option in this Red Raider offense. .6:18 to go in the third. As this pass is dumped off, completed to Kelvin Amankwa.
Pass by Casey is complete. Caught by Martell's Kelvin Amankwa.
Just a gain of about 2 there
2-yard gain
on that end around.
2nd and 8, Lowell, from their own 37.
Rivera bringing pressure off the edge as this ball is lofted to the middle of the field. It's completed to Ryan Conley. And the ball comes out at the end. Looks like he was down by contact.
Pass by Casey is complete. Caught by number 18, Ryan Conley.
And so Conley eventually tackled by his number 18 counterpart, Nick Arujo. But the biggest offensive play of the night for the Red Raiders.
40-yard gain on the play.
Gain of 40 yards on that play to Conley.
Milford 27.
As the ball is now spotted on the Milford 27. They go back to the ground game, and Perez Jr. swallowed up.
Number 1, Anthony Perez Jr. on the carry.
After a short gain.
1-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 9, Lowell. On the Milford 26.
Clock still rolling down towards 4.5 minutes to play. Perez Jr. in motion. As this ball is lofted towards the end zone, and it is incomplete. They had a man open once again. It was Colin Christensen, who's had some difficulties catching the football here tonight. That pass incomplete, and meanwhile Milford with a player down in the back of the end zone. And so an injury timeout here, stopping the clock at the 4:27 mark. Still a 28-0 lead for the Scarlet Hawks. With a big matchup at King Philip High School looming in week 7. Take a quick peek during this timeout. At what some of the other Hockomock League. It was Jason Stokes, meanwhile, who was down in the end zone, but now back up on his feet. And now jogging towards the sideline, always a good sign.
Third down and 9, Lowell. Milford 26.
So we'll get to some of those matchups in this week 6 a little bit later. Third down and 8 here for the Red Raiders as the pass is completed to Ryan Conley. Shy of the first down.
Aiden Watson in on the stop. 6-yard gain on the play. 4th down and 3 for Lowell.
Actually, an interesting matchup coming up tomorrow night. With King Philip facing off against the Foxborough Warriors. Meanwhile, on 4th down, Lowell going for it. The pass completed to Perez Jr., and he's able to get the first down.
Caught by number 1, Anthony Perez Jr.
Foxborough, after some lean years, back in good form this season. They are leading the way in the Davenport division with a 5-0 record. They've scored a Davenport division high 128 points so far on the season. So we'll see if they can provide a challenge to the Warriors in that matchup coming up tomorrow night. Meanwhile, 1st and 10 here for Lowell, as the short pass is completed on the far sideline, and then the receiver wrestled out of bounds. It was Christensen hauling in that catch. Less than 3 minutes to go now in the 3rd quarter.
5-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 5, Lowell, Milford 9. Timeout, Lowell, their 1st of the 2nd half.
And right now, timeout taken on the field. Stopping the clock with 2 minutes and 53 seconds to go. We'll take a quick pause in our coverage as well. Late in the 3rd quarter, still a 28-0 lead for Milford here on Milford TV.
Second and 5, Lowell, on the Milford.
2nd and 5 for the Red Raiders. 2:53 left in the 3rd quarter. Lowell threatening to get on the scoreboard as Casey looks to the end zone, and the pass is in and out of the hands of Cameron Durkin. Incomplete.
The pass was intended for number 4, Cameron Durkin. That makes a 3rd down and 5 for the Red Raiders. Ball's on the Scarlet Hawks 9-yard line.
3rd down and 6 as this Milford red zone defense gets a challenge here. Casey drops back. And another juggle, this ball hauled in to the end zone. And a touchdown completed to Kelvin Amankwa.
From 9 yards out for the score.
It is a 9-yard strike.
Number 4, Cameron Durkin into the point after attempt.
And so Durkin now will attempt the point after. And the kick is blocked.
The kick is blocked. Try unsuccessful. And then it makes your score Milford 28, Lowell 6.
And so that keeps it at a 6-point threshold for the Red Raiders. 28-6 now. Milford in front of Lowell. Two minutes and 41 seconds remaining. Not a lot of close games through these early weeks of the season for Milford. A 33-point margin of victory in week 1, a 24-point margin of victory in week 2. The one close game was the 7-0 win here at home against Natick. And then a 48-14 blowout at Attleboro, a 33-13 comfortable margin of victory against North Attleboro last week. Right now, the lead at 22 points for the Scarlet Hawks late in this third quarter. And a short kick here, onside kick attempt for Lowell, trying to catch Milford by surprise, but the Hawks sure-handed as they secure the ball at the Milford 46-yard line. So good starting field position here for the Hawks as they look to get on the scoreboard for the first time here in the second half. Lowell has dominated the time of possession in this third quarter. This is just Milford's second possession of the third. Right now, seems like a little confusion about where to spot the football. They now put the ball down on the 46. They want to adjust the game clock to 2 minutes and 36 seconds.
The clock's been reset to 2:36. First and 10, Milford from their own 46.
So 2:36 to play in the third quarter, with Milford set with a first and 10 from their own 46. Buckley from the shotgun, hands it off to Scudo, and Scudo nowhere to go. He is bottled up in the backfield for a sizable loss. All the way back at the 41.
Loss of 5 in the play. Second and
Drops
15,
Milford back to a loss of 5 yards.
41.
Second down and 15. Milford has gone a little bit more to the ground game here in the second half. No doubt with some clock management on their minds. Now gunning it in the air, complete to Andrew Rivera, making a nice leaping catch right at the center of the field.
10-yard gain on the play. Third down and 5, Milford.
That'll set up third down and 5 with 90 seconds to play in quarter number 3. Scudo staying out there in the backfield as Buckley again will look to throw, flushed from the pocket, able to keep his feet, and now wisely gets rid of the football as he is driven to the ground. He avoids the sack, facing all kinds of pressure once again from Dylan Manny, who dropped Buckley for a sack back in the first half.
That makes it fourth down and 5 for Milford.
And so it'll be fourth down and 5 here for the Hawks. And right at midfield. And Araujo out for another punt, so this Milford offense.
There is a flag in the play for intentional grounding on Milford.
Not looking quite as in sync as they were in the first half. Meanwhile, they do call Buckley for intentional grounding there.
It's a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul and the loss of down.
And so 4th and 26 here after the intentional grounding penalty is assessed. Fair catch made on the punt by Lowell, and so the Raiders get their first score of the game. They hold Milford on that drive and trying to create a turning point in this game, and you can hear some frustration from the coaching staff
First and 10, Red Raiders on their own
on the Milford side, perhaps seeing a drop in the energy level for this team after getting out to a big lead. It's now 28-6, 61 seconds remaining here in the third.
One, Anthony Perez Jr. on
And the defense able to contain Anthony Perez Jr.
No gain on the play.
Not much gain there. Second down.
43.
They do give Perez Jr. a yard, so it's second down and 9. Clock down to 30 seconds to play. Toss back, and now it is Lowell with the double pass and a wide open receiver down the near sideline. It is Ryan Conley. The pass went backwards to Seth Lai, who then completed the pass downfield to Conley. And so taking a page out of Milford's playbook from earlier in this game to collect the first down. And right now, Lowell looks to be the team with a bit of momentum on their side.
First and 10, Red Raiders on the Milford 25-yard line.
Moving the ball down to the Milford 25. It's first and 10, 14 seconds left in this third quarter. And again, Casey looking to throw, has a man open down the far sideline. It was once again Ryan Conley, but the pass is incomplete.
Intended for number 18, Ryan Conley. That brings it second and 10.
Good coverage in the secondary.
On the Milford 25.
Empty backfield for Jack Casey. Able to gun that pass incomplete to Christensen right around the 20-yard line. Milford does not let him advance any further, and that will be the final play of the third quarter. So a quiet quarter offensively for Milford. Lowell able to get on the scoreboard and trying to fight their way back into this game. It is now Milford 28, Lowell 6. And we will begin the fourth quarter after we return from this quick timeout. Coverage continues here on Milford TV.
Third down and 3 for Lowell on the Milford 18-yard line to begin the fourth quarter of play.
Once again, we welcome you inside the turf field here at Milford High School. Tim Coed here bringing you the coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. Fourth quarter underway. Anthony Perez Jr. once again proving elusive as he was able to make his way down inside the 10-yard line. And that's going to set up first and goal now for the Red Raiders. This game was all Milford in the first half. 4 touchdowns through the first 2 quarters of play for Milford, but they have been held off the scoreboard here in the second half. Has one score back, looking for more here with first and goal, but Perez Jr. without much room there on the carry following his first down catch. Milford defense has been out on the field for the majority of this second half as Casey throws on the move and the pass is intercepted. And Milford with perhaps a little bit of a mental mistake there as Alex Guerra hauled in the pick and then came out of the end zone, was
by number 11, Alex Guerra.
dropped down right around the 1-yard line. So Milford able to take over, but in a dangerous part of the field. Meanwhile, there is a flag down on the field. And so it looks like we've got offsetting penalties. And so right now the Lowell offense is still out on the field, so looks like the penalties will wipe away the Guerra interception.
There are 2 fouls on the play, one by each team. Top block on Lowell, roughing the passer on Milford. Those fouls are offset, and we will replay it down.
So the offsetting penalties allow Lowell to keep the football. It is 3rd and goal. As Casey sends this pass to the far side of the field. We're there once again in coverage as the pass was complete to Durkin. So it's a gain of 5, 3rd and goal now. Ball spotted on the Milford 5. As Casey looks to throw, looking to the end zone, and the pass is complete into Colin Christensen, who's had an up and down game. He's made some big plays and makes one right there, a 5-yard touchdown reception that makes it 28-12. We'll see. It looks like Lowell's going to go for the 2-point conversion here. They missed the extra point on their touchdown in the 3rd quarter.
Lowell will line up to go for 2.
Casey looking to throw, and right at the goal line, that pass is complete to Ryan Conley. The 2-point try successful.
Jack Casey complete to Ryan Conley on the side.
And so that officially cuts the Scarlet Hawks lead in half now from 28-0. It's now 28-14. And a tale of 2 halves in this game. Milford looked like they were going to win this game going away at halftime, but it has been a very different game. The offense has been out of sorts, and the defense looking a little gassed. Again, they've been out on the field for a lot of this second half. Looked like they had the takeaway there, only to have it negated on offsetting penalties, and then could not keep Lowell out of the end zone for the touchdown and then the 2-point conversion. So it's now a 2-score game. Milford on their first two possessions of the second half have had starting field position at their own 45-yard line and then at their own 46-yard line, but have not been able to get anything going. And now this kick bounces initially through the hands of Joey McGee.
Kick is covered by number 32, Joey McGee.
He's eventually able to fall on the football. And just not a lot going right for the Scarlet Hawks right now as they huddle up around their coaching staff before coming out here with 10 minutes and 26 seconds to go. The clock on Milford's side.
First and 10, Milford from their own 32-yard line.
So starting field position for Milford at their own 32. Their first possession of this fourth quarter. Buckley with Scudo to his right. Scudo gets the handoff. Able to bounce off of one tackle, but now the ball is loose. And right now, Lowell celebrating. They have the football. It looked like Milford had a chance there at the end. Right now it is the Scarlet Hawks who come away from the pile with the football in hand, but the ruling on the field was a turnover. So Milford coughs up the football immediately. And that's going to give the Red Raiders possession.
Timeout Milford, their first of the second half.
Inside Milford territory. So what a turning point in the second half. Timeout taken on the field. And so just when you thought Milford needed a get-right drive there, after allowing the touchdown, instead, on their very first play, they lose the fumble. Now both teams with a turnover in this game. Still 10 minutes and 16 seconds to go. So both teams back out on the field now.
First and 10, Red Raiders on the Milford 34-yard line.
Again, 10-16 to play, first and 10 from the Milford 34. Casey looking to throw. Milford has a defender fall down, and this is going to be an easy stroll into the end zone. Touchdown for Lowell, complete to Ryan Conley. So a quick 34-yard strike. Again, Milford had a defender fall down in the secondary, and so it was an easy pitch and catch from Casey to Conley. And immediately, Lowell able to convert the turnover into points, and they will go for a two-point conversion once again. Making things very interesting. What a huge swing in just a matter of seconds. Two-point try here as Casey has time. And instead the pass is intercepted, so the two-point try fails. No opportunity for Milford to run it back on the two-point try, so Rivera runs it out of bounds. So it keeps the score at 28-20, and so a bit of a roll of the dice there for Lowell, trying to keep momentum on their side. And so instead of it being a 7-point margin, It is an 8-point margin after the failed 2-point conversion, but regardless, 20 unanswered points now for the Lowell Red Raiders, all in the second half. And this game now, all of a sudden, very much in doubt. A 28-point lead for Milford at the half. It is down to just an 8-point margin. This has been a Lowell team struggling to gain traction on the season. Just one win in their first 5 weeks. They've endured some controversy on their coaching staff this season that has cast a shadow over this season, but very much in this game against one of the top-ranked programs in the state. As this time they kick the football away, it takes a slow roll and eventually winds up in the hands of Jason Stokes. Able to rattle off a decent return out past the 35-yard line. This team could use some energy from the crowd. The crowd's gotten a little sparse since halftime, with the exception of the student section.
He's running a stop on the 37-yard line. First and 10, Milford on their own 37.
And so meanwhile, the Hawks will start this drive from their own 37. Looking to protect the football as they pitch it into the hands of Nick Arujo. And the captain able to get out close to the first down marker. Looks like a gain of 9 on the ground for Arujo.
Nine-yard gain on the play. Second
Milford letting every second come off of this play clock. 9:20 to go now. As now they pitch it to the near side for Arujo. He has the first down, has a blocker out in front, and eventually ends up out of bounds. But a couple of big plays in succession for Nick Arujo.
And that play is good for the Skyhawks.
Trying to release some of the pressure in this game that has built up all of a sudden here at the start of this fourth quarter.
22-yard gain.
A gain of 22 there on the ground for Arujo.
On the 32-yard line.
With Arujo stepping out of bounds, the clock paused now at 9:09. They'll just keep putting the ball in the hands of number 18. Able to get himself down to the 30.
2-yard gain on the play. Second and 8, Milford.
So a new season high in points scored in a game for Lowell. And a new high in points allowed in a game for this Milford defense. Down to 8.5 minutes to play. Bit of a low snap there held onto by Buckley. Tosses it over to Arujo, who is immediately ripped down. Setting up a 3rd down and 9 coming up for the Hawks.
From the Red Raider 31.
Crowd getting a little bit more lively here. Milford looking to convert a 3rd and long. Pass is completed to Jason Stokes. Offensive line gave Buckley good protection there. He was able to stand tall in the pocket. Eventually found Stokes for the first down.
11-yard gain on the play.
This will take us down under 7.5 minutes to play. Rougeau with the carry once again. He forces his way past the 15-yard line. Gain of 9 for Rougeau.
2nd and 1, Milford on the Red Raider 11. Timeout Lowell, their second of the second half.
So Lowell will call for a timeout here. Milford looking to get this game back under control. They've worked the clock down to 6:56 to play in a 28-20 score. A tough road ahead in the next couple of weeks for the Scarlet Hawks. The level of competition certainly ramping up. We've talked about it quite a bit. The big matchup against the undefeated King Philip Warriors coming up next week, and then 2 weeks from now, the final home game, the final game before the playoffs are determined, as Milford will host the Franklin Panthers, who come in to week 6 at 4-1. Lowell, after this game, will be on the road next week against Lawrence.
Second and 1, Milford on the Red Raider 11-yard line.
So 2nd down and 1. Ball spotted on the Lowell 11. And the carry for Rougeau down towards the goal line. And they're going to mark him down a yard shy of the end zone. This drive has been dominated by Nick Rougeau, a game where the passing attack for Milford got a lot of accolades in the first half, but Rougeau stepping up on this drive, with Milford desperate to swing momentum back to their side. Right now, 1st and goal from the 1. With the clock rolling down towards 6 minutes to play. Rougeau out there. He already has a rushing touchdown in this game. And he gets the call here. No, it's a fake, as Milford had everyone fooled. And it is Jack Buckley who walks into the end zone untouched for the 1-yard touchdown rush.
And that's another touchdown brought to you by Consigli Construction.
And so Milford indeed gets back on the scoreboard.
Number 18, Nick Rougeau, into the point after attempt.
Rougeau for the point after. And the kick is good. So that gives the Hawks a little bit of breathing room again. Ups the lead to 15 with 6:13 to go. And so a lot of credit goes to the senior captain, Nick Rougeau. Did the majority of the heavy lifting on that drive to put Milford in position. Capped off the drive with the point after. So 28-20 is now the score. Lowell creating some tense moments here for these Milford football fans, but back up to a 2-possession lead.
Number 18, Nick Rougeau set the kickoff.
tricky bounce there on that squib kick. Dylan Manny.
Number 55, Walter Palacio Jr. on the return.
Make it number 55, Walter Palacio Jr. ending up with the football. He takes it up to the 39. I beg your pardon, the 44-yard line. That is where the Raiders will begin. Touchdowns on their last 3 straight possessions for Lowell. Touchdown receptions for Amonkwa, Christensen, and Conley. And now 1st and 10 from their own 44. As Casey drops back and has the receiver open. Rivera eventually able to wrestle him out of bounds, but not before he gets down close to the Milford 15. And so Casey has really aired it out here over these last couple of possessions, and all of a sudden these receivers getting a step or two on the Milford secondary. That time Conley able to get ahead of Rivera. Couldn't take it to the house for the score, but sets up Lowell well here. 1st and 10 from the Milford 19, and the Scarlet Hawks have to take a timeout, as right now this defense looking tired. The Lowell offense looking energized, and so it's amazing to see how this game has evolved. And again, credit to this Lowell program for being able to make some significant adjustments here against a very good Milford defense, a defense that prides itself on coming in very prepared each and every week, allowing next to nothing in the first half, but it's been a different story here over these last 4 Lowell offensive possessions. 1st and 10 now from the Milford 19, with Perez Jr. in the backfield. And Lowell looked like they might have a trick play on their minds, but Milford with other ideas as the captain, Tony Dew, comes screaming into the backfield for the sack. So they drop Casey for a loss of 8. Quickly back to action. Flag comes in as Casey was flushed from the pocket. The pass is incomplete. Holding penalty against the Raiders. So this backs the Raiders up into a 2nd down and 28. A significant loss there after the penalty. 5:14 to go in the 4th quarter. Casey with a deep drop back, completes it over the middle to Perez Jr., who's finally wrestled down to the ground. Milford able to get a hold of the right leg of Perez Jr. and able to hold him there long enough for reinforcements to arrive.
That was Kennedy in on the stop.
Clock still rolling here, coming down
3-yard gain on
to
the play.
4:40.
Third down and 25. Red Raiders on the Milford 34.
It's a third down and 25. You have to think this is 4-down territory for Lowell at this point in the game. An empty backfield. Wobbly ball, but it's completed to Perez Jr.
Casey's pass is complete. Number 1, Anthony Perez Jr.
Down to the 20-yard line where it will be
on the stop.
4th and 10. But I beg your pardon, flag down.
There is a flag on the play.
So, a penalty going against the Red Raiders. 2 very costly penalties here. This one pushing Lowell all the way back to the 45-yard
10
line.
yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, third down.
So 3rd down and 35.
Third down and 35 for the Red Raiders. On the Milford
Needing to get all the way down to the 10-yard line to convert a first down. And Milford bringing the pressure, and Casey is sacked.
Jack Casey is sacked on the play. Hauled down by number 56, Keith Lee, and number 75, Tony Dew.
Keith Lee and Tony Dew both in on that sack. Milford able to get to the quarterback a couple of times on this possession, and now on
the play.
4th down and
43.
43.
For the Red Raiders from their own 48.
It may have been 4-down territory earlier on the drive, but I don't think you'll find a team that will try a 4th and 43. So the punt unit out there with 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go. Milford will let this ball bounce. Comes to a stop around the 12-yard line.
Punt is down on the 12-yard line. 1st and 10, Milford on their own 12.
So Milford gets the football back with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Trying to put the finishing touches on their 6th win of the season. This is Milford's worst starting field position of the game. But able to immediately create some space. A nice play on the ground.
Nick Arujo on the carry.
It's once again Arujo who's put this team on his back here in the 4th quarter.
And that play is good for Scarlet Hawks.
Gets the first down.
10-yard gain on the play.
And right now, timeout taken.
Timeout by Lowell, their 3rd and final of the second
That's
half.
their last timeout.
Ten-yard gain on the previous play. 1st and 10, Milford on their own 22-yard
So
line.
the ball now spotted on the Milford 22.
Nick Arujo on the carry. Five-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 5, Milford on their own 27.
Gain of 5 there for the Hawks. 2nd down and 5. Clock still rolling. Well, cannot stop the clock. Out of timeouts. Buckley letting every second of that play clock wind down before handing the football off. Milford protects as Scudo takes it.
Nate Scudo on the carry.
Out to the 32. This will take us under the 2-minute mark.
And that play is good for the Scarlet Hawks.
And now they move the chains, so Milford gets just enough there. Big first down.
First and 10, Milford on their own 32.
All but sealing the victory here in week 6. Again, Buckley will let this clock wind down inside of 90 seconds to play. And now back in the hands of Nate Scudo.
Five-yard gain on the play.
And so after a gain of 5,
from their own 37.
just 60 seconds left to decide this game. So a lot closer than these Milford fans would have wanted. Certainly closer than these Milford coaches would have wanted. And you have to imagine that there will be some spirited practices coming up here in the next week. Right now, one more timeout taken. Right now the officials are conferring. This game all but decided, but right now some confusion down on the field. You could hear at times this coaching staff getting very vocal on the sidelines as this second half progressed, as Lowell slowly but surely started to come back in this game, making things very interesting. For a moment it looked like they were on the verge of cutting it to a 6-point margin, but a missed 2-point conversion helped keep it at an 8-point mark. And then Nick Arujo deserving huge credit here for righting the ship at a critical time. Big chunk yardage on the ground to set Milford up for a 1-yard rushing touchdown from Jack Buckley, who now takes a knee as the rest of this clock will slowly but surely wind down. So again, not the prettiest game in the second half for the Scarlet Hawks, but in the end, it will lead to their 6th victory of the season.
From their own 36.
One more kneel down, and that should do it. And so the players now will start to make their way to the handshake line as the final 20 seconds now will tick down. Milford will secure their 6th victory of the season. And so with the win, Milford improves to 6-0 on the season. A spirited effort here in the second half for Lowell, but they will drop to 1-5 on the year, as Milford will win this game by a final score of 35-20. So again, the next opponent on the schedule for the Scarlet Hawks is the King Philip Warriors, a matchup that has been the Achilles heel of this Milford team in the last couple of seasons. They have just not been able to come up with the formula to have success against that vaunted King Philip program. Will this season start to change that? We'll find out 8 days from now, as that game will take place over at King Philip High School next Friday night. Our next coverage of this football team will be 2 weeks from now in a home matchup against Franklin. And again, our next coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV will come your way tomorrow afternoon as we'll have coverage of the girls' varsity soccer team taking on the Attleboro Bombardiers here on this very field, with that game getting started around 4:15. We hope you will join us for that coverage then. But in the meantime, a big thank you to our Milford TV crew on hand for this coverage tonight. Our director for the game is Patrick Garapi, and our camera operators are Scott Crisafulli and Kyle Barlow. And I am Tim Coette. That final score, one final time, Milford defeats Lowell by a final score of 35-20. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.